Hi, thank you for tuning in. This is Liz Poppin Balloons, and I'm showing you how I create my rainbow balloon arch. You will need 6 different rows, so 6 colors, but I decided to use the same color for my 2 rows, and those are in 5-inch balloons. The rest of your balloons will be 11-inch. I'm showing you some of the products I'm using as well, but how you're sizing the balloons, you start with your largest balloon, which is 11-inch, and you size it to about 6.5. And then from there, you go down a half a size each balloon color. And that's how you create your arch, and you're just using duplets, 2 balloons tied together of the opposite color. All right, and I'm showing you the products that I'm using. Those are about 3 different brands that I'm using, but they're all pastel colors, so they work great together. I'm using fishing line, scissors, and 260 balloons in order to attach the rows together. I'm starting off with a 0.8, which is sized about 6.5 inches. The next size will be purple, and I just go down 1 size, which would be a size 6. So you're using a 6.5 and a size 6. You tie those 2 balloons together to create a duplet. Once you get the 2 colors completely inflated, you're going to use your fishing line to tie to one of the duplets. And from there, you're just going to stack in opposite directions each duplet, intertwining it with the fishing line to the last duplet. You don't want to go farther into the arch because it starts gathering too tightly. So you just want to stack it on the last duplet and then use your fishing line and tie around the last one. The balloons should fit closely together, so you do want to snug on your fishing line. You don't want a loose garland. You want all the balloons to sit right nestled into each other. So if you're not seeing this shape, it's probably because you didn't flip the balloon colors to each side. So you usually go, like, if purple's on the right side, the next time it'll be on the left side, and it just goes back and forth. So right, then left, then right, then left, and that's how you're going to form this shape. And then you just secure the fishing line to the last balloon and go to the next set of colors. So now this is a 0.6, which would be a 5.5. And then you size the green balloon, would be a 5. So 5.5 and 5. And you start inflating all your balloons, and then you'll be able to construct the garland. So here's a closer look how I tie my fishing line to the first duplet. You just make a knot to your first duplet, and then from here you're going to be able to construct the garland. Just making a couple knots. This fishing line is actually pretty thin. I have a 12-pound fishing line. I usually use a 25-pound fishing line, and that is a little thicker. You can see it better, and it doesn't cut the balloons. But from right here, I am just stacking each duplet to each other, opposite direction. So it's forming the shape that I need. I'm making sure I'm holding on to the fishing line so that way it's not loosening up. And I'm just going to wrap the fishing line against the last duplet. Pull it tight and then stack again. Wrap it around. Put it on the last duplet you put it over top, and then pull. And you just continue this. You have 25 duplets for each garland. And that's how you're starting to construct your rainbow. Okay, for the last set, you will be using 5-inch balloons. So the previous 4 balloons were size 11, and you went 6.5 and 6, 5.5 and 5. And these 5 inches are now, you would say, 4 inches and 3.5 inches. That's how you're going to create the last set. I'm still using fishing line. I go ahead and tie it on the last duplet. And then from there, you start stacking it opposite direction each time you stack it. And you wrap it on the last balloon duplet that you put on top. You don't want to go too deep into the garland like how you do organics. You can go wrap in between 3 or 4 balloons. You just want to stay right on the last one, so that way it doesn't pull too tightly and it still gives you the shape you need. It's definitely harder using the same color because there's only sized 1/2 inch difference. You can't really tell if you're stacking it correctly, but the shape will form itself. If not, cut the string and start over. It's not the end of the world. If you don't feel like it's forming the shape you need, start over. And that's the best option I always give myself. Practice, trial and error, and keep doing. Don't stop. This rainbow arch did take me about 2.5 hours to construct, with inflating the balloons and second guessing myself as well. So it takes about 2 hours. You're only using 150 balloons for the actual rainbow. And then the clouds I did create at the Encore Studio, which we already had white balloons and I just gathered clusters together. You will see that towards the end at the final picture. But what I'm doing here is taking my 260s. I'm stretching them out a little bit. I'm counting into the actual balloon garland about 4 into deep. And I'm taking the balloon 260 and wrapping it around the purple and the blue balloons, and making sure that they're tightly secured together so the rows are connecting without any gaps. And I'm just tying that 260 in between these garland rows. And as you can see now, it's secure, it's not going anywhere, and I just have to do the same thing on the opposite side. So I take another 260, stretch it out, and then I count into like 1, 2, 3, and then I go ahead and put the 260, wrap it around the purple balloon, then wrap it around the blue balloon, and wrap it around another few balloons, so that way it's tight and secure. And now I have both sets of garlands connected, and I just have to do the same thing for the yellow. So I count about 3 or 4 deep into the green balloons, and that's where I'm going to take my 260 balloon and attach from the green balloon and the yellow balloons. Tie that securely, snugly, tightly, and make a knot into the 260 balloons so they are connected, and then work your magic on the other side with using a 260 balloon. And you'll see that it's gappy, like from the yellow it doesn't, you still see a lot of green balloons, so that's where you're going to end up putting your clusters of white balloons. I have to load it up in the U-Haul. I had another delivery that day, so I went ahead, loaded that up, took it to the Encore studio, and the final results were just so beautiful. Definitely try this. Tag me in your videos. I'm happy to help. I'll leave some descriptions in the notes and the details on the balloons I used. And just leave comments, like, share, and thank you for subscribing, because this is my first YouTube video officially under Liz Poppin Balloons. So thank you again, and hope you enjoy. Peace.